show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch. Creation is an act of sheer will. Life will find a way.
Hello, welcome to this spoilercast for Jurassic World Dominion. And our final stop on our road to Jurassic World Dominion. What do you want to watch is look back at the massive dinosaur franchise, which taught people the difference between a Lystrosaurus and a Therizinosaurus, and showed us that life finds a way. I'm Ashley Hobley, and I've been your host for this expedition. And the man who's been joining me on this trek to the Illanublar and beyond, Dylan Blight.
Happy to be here and talk about Jurassic Park Lotus.
Yep. It was a real bait and switch, wasn't it?
It was a real bait and switch. Like, you're here for dinosaurs? Get ready for bugs.
Alright, please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about the plot themes in any of the movie. So, if you haven't watched it, come back later. It is showing in cinemas, but I guess, you can always wait till it comes to something else. With that said, let's jump to a discussion of Jurassic World Dominion.
Blue had a baby. That's impossible.
Hey, girl.
You look just like your mother.
I promise you, I am gonna get her back. Genetic power has now been unleashed. We made a terrible mistake.
The doomsday clock might be about out of time.
If our world's gonna survive, what matters is what we do now.
I could use your expertise.
You coming or what?
A baby raptor? I made a promise we would bring her home.
You made a promise to a dinosaur.
Yeah. What?
Directed by Colin Trevorrow, screenplay by Emily Carmichael and Colin Trevorrow, story by Derek Connolly and Colin Trevorrow, based on characters created by Michael Crichton. Starring Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, DeWanda, Mamoudou, Athie, B.D. Wong, and Omar. 4 years after the destruction of Illanublar, dinosaurs now live and hunt alongside humans all over the world. This fragile balance will reshape the future and determine once and for all whether human beings are able to remain the apex predators on a planet they now share with the history's most fearsome creatures in a new era. Dylan, what'd you think of Jurassic World Dominion? Had you seen the reviews before?
I'd seen some headlines, but I hadn't read anything. I'd just seen some Twitter
Yeah,
headlines.
Just
Twitter
reactions.
Yeah, I just seen scroll on my timeline, and obviously some popped up. I didn't go looking for them.
Yes.
I think this is the worst Jurassic Park movie. I think this is the worst Jurassic Park, including, out of all 6 films. Is what I would actually put this below 3. And I'll put 3 as the second worst. Now, this is initial reactions.
Yes.
I'm throwing it out there. But yeah, I was very disappointed. There are so many things I don't like about this movie. And I struggle to think of things I did like. This movie reached the stage, and this is probably the biggest negative criticism I can give to any movie, and I bring it up whenever it happens. But I did check my watch at some stage and be like, "What's the time?
Yeah.
Where are we? What are we doing? It feels like I've been here for 10 hours. Let's get going." I don't think the story is good at all. I don't like the direction they took. In a world where you just freed all the dinosaurs at the end of the last film, I'm like, this is what you came up with.
Yeah.
out of literally
anything,
it's this. And ultimately what ends up happening is they're like, we don't have a Jurassic Park anymore. We got Jurassic Park again. Like, you know, like it's not they literally just bring them back to a park. Literally. They're like, the dinosaurs rule the world. You go back to a park. It was so dumb. It annoyed the fuck out of me. The Lotus thing, I have no idea why that plot line is a thing in this movie. That's dumb.
Because money.
Yep. A lot of action scenes I didn't think was shot particularly well. I think the highlight of the movie is was my favorite shot from the trailers, which is the riding around the city, running across the rooftops, escaping from those dinosaurs. I think that's the best of the movie, like as far as like action and excitement goes, because that is literally seeing dinosaurs in a very human, like populated city aspect. That's what I was hoping to see more of. Like I thought that was the whole idea, and instead we spend a lot of the movie back in a park. Like they're just like more parks. Here's more parks, and here's more fucking secret laboratories, and oh my god. I feel like the legacy characters are completely unnecessary and wasted. I feel like they showed up and just got given redos. Like, I think there was that point where they're like, we got to reset the power. And Bryce Dallas Howard's like, I'll do it. Laura Dern's like, I'm coming. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. We're redoing. And then they kill the main bad guy who literally, for some reason, has the canister from the first film as like a collector's item, and he takes that with him for some reason, just so they can have a moment. No,
that could have just been a burnt can of shaving cream that he covers.
No. He has a goddamn shaving cream thing, and then they literally just redo the same scene. Like, there is a lot of shit I hate in this, which is just just fan scenes for the sake of fan scenes. But I'm like, who actually is getting excited over this? I think maybe I'm wrong. Look, people clapped at the end of my screen. I'm like, I don't know what you're smoking, but Launcestons and, you know, like Tasmanians. I don't know.
They need to smoke stuff.
Bloody ridiculous. I actually really like the girl in this, Maisie. I think her storyline is not great. I quite enjoyed her in general, though. I enjoyed the new character. His name I cannot remember off the top of my head, but the helicopter pilot. I thought she was pretty badass, and I quite enjoyed her and wish she got a bit more to do.
Kayla or something? No.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, it's weird. I think one headline I saw, I'm not making this up. Like, this is my first thought, but one headline I did see a day or two ago when the reviews came out was like, Jurassic Park fails when it's an attempt to be Indiana Jones or something like that. And I was like, that's an interesting review headline. Anyway, scroll. And then after watching the film, my brain went back to that, because I'm like, it kind of did feel like it was like they were more interested in making an Indiana Jones sort of movie or something, and then they were like, oh fuck yeah, we got dinosaurs. Hey, it's not scary. None of the dinosaurs are as interesting as any of the other movies. I don't know. I'm quite disappointed, because I really enjoyed our rewatch, and I was getting pretty hyped, like just rewatching them, and even being like, yeah, 3 is like whatever, and, you know. And then I never watched Fallen Kingdom, and I actually, in retrospect, I'm definitely saying I'm being a contrarian, and I'm saying Fallen Kingdom, contrarian. I'm saying Fallen Kingdom, best of the world trilogy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You'll be alone on that boat, but not as alone as anybody who thinks this is the best one. Because, yeah, this is... I don't think it's bad, it's just there. You know? There's bad elements. There's way more bad elements than good elements, that's for sure. I think I would put it above 3, but that's just personal preference, and like me not having any nostalgia for 3, I guess, maybe. But yeah, this is, oh god, I mean, Locust, why? Again, out of all the storylines you could have told, that was the one that kicked it off, and that's the one that this whole movie is based around, really. And that's that's crazy. And then you take the concept of dinosaurs living amongst humans, and then you pretty much do the reverse of the last movie, where, you know, dinosaurs come to humanity, and then go back to the park. Pretty much, it is bonkers the way they've just decided to flip those movies around. And continued like doubling down on all the genetics elements that like people aren't really that interested in, I don't think. Even though I think BD Wong gives an interesting performance here, because he is finally at the point where he's kind of remorseful about his actions. He's not like, hey, I'm playing God almost, I'm doing all these crazy things with genetics. Now he's got a soul apparently, and a conscience. He clearly wanted to bang Maisie's mum back in the day.
That scene at the end of the movie where he comes out and he like releases it into the field and he's like so happy and everything. Like, what am I supposed to feel now? Because I don't like you at all. Like, I don't care if you've just...
You set this amongst people.
Yeah, like you...
It's like the person who created COVID being like, hey, guess what? I
solved it, yeah. He's like, I solved it, everyone. I've got the cure. Here's this great shot of me, like, in the sunlight. It's all, like, he's supposed to... I'm like, am I supposed to feel happy? Because not only did he cause this problem, but he's caused multiple countless problems prior to this.
Like, he created all those raptors.
Yeah. So,
all the monsters that get murdered everybody last few movies. Yeah, I don't think the CGI looked as good as this movie. Across the board, as the last two.
It definitely looked a lot more, I hate the term, but plasticky.
Yeah, it was just like, they weren't like lit properly, I feel. Blue didn't look as good as I feel like she has in the last couple of movies. There's a lot of like logic leaps and like crazy jumps. Like, as soon as Maisie sees like little blue, or Beta, I guess they call her eventually, she's like, oh, you must be Blue's baby. Just out of the blue. A dinosaur that you know for a fact can't mate, you like jump to the conclusion that it's Blue's baby. Crazy. Yeah. It's just I think, yeah, it just didn't utilize the idea of dinosaurs being in amongst humans enough. Which is what people were going in wanting, and they've kind of done a terrible bait and switch.
That scene where they go to like the underground people, like where they're selling them and having fight clubs with dinosaurs.
That was cool.
That was cool. And I really wish, like...
It's very cool because they used actual puppet dinosaurs.
I wish the movie was more of that. Just like, what are people doing? Like, how are these dinosaurs like integrated? Like, even that right at the end of the movie, see that like when Sam Neill's like, I'm never going to get used to this. The girls like petting the little dinosaur duck thing or whatever. Just like anything like those scenes, I'm like, that's what I'm more interested in. Instead, the movie was 90% just another park.
Let's go to this random crater. Yeah. The crater from Top Gun. It's interesting they like doubled down on the human cloning as well. Like they turned around to become like a important plot point. So I guess, at least that worked out for a reason. That whole family dynamic between, Claire, Owen, and Maisie was weird to start off with. I
don't mind.
I don't mind it. It was just very amusing. I think I really laughed at Owen's like, oh yeah, I'll talk to her. I know what to say. And then he proceeds to say like worst possible thing.
Yeah. I feel like, because like learning now that one of the major problems people had with the Fallen Kingdom was the cloning storyline or whatever. But I obviously think it's fine in that movie, and I like Maisie's story in that, and we discussed that, and I kind of like the metaphorical part at the end of that movie, and that definitely worked for me. I feel like this movie doubling down on the cloning doesn't work at all. I feel like making her so integral to the say, like him, like Dr. Wu, that's his name, right? Yeah. Yeah,
I want to say.
The finding the like needing her and all that. Like, I'm like, I don't know if all of this was like her being like this number one thing that they needed to all of a sudden all these people after her and all this sort of shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, I don't know. Like, none of that felt like it was necessary to me at all. I don't know why we doubled down.
I don't know why Blue's baby was necessary.
They try explaining it in that one scene where they're like, I need you because you were like, you're a clone baby. And like,
and
you were
she's
born,
also kind of like a clone baby.
She's also because kind of like she was born from nothing too. Got him. I mean, to the point that they're like, he's like, I need to study yous because we injected you with something that means that, this animal that is able to recreate itself. I'm like, oh, we started that fucker. What animal was that? Go get some of those. You know, like, what did you say? Yeah, what fucking animal did you say you filled the fucking DNA in for this? What? why can't we just get those? I don't know.
Yeah. But I agreed, mate. The actress who played Maisie, Isabella Sermon, she was quite good. Like, you know.
Yeah, I thought she was really good.
Like when she like found out about her mother and like, I think it was a nice moment. She's like, she finds out like she wasn't grown in a lab or something.
No,
which I think
she was actually born of.
She was actually born like a normal person.
Yeah.
So.
I
don't think there was so much tying in though. It's like,
yeah,
she knew Claire.
It's excessive.
No, she knew Ellie.
Ellie, yeah, and all this sort of shit. I'm like, what does that even add up? Like, for sure, we've never seen nor heard this character before. What was I gonna say? The part. Oh yeah, the part that made me laugh was where she just gives the two fingers. Thought that was good shit.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
And then also there was two little kids behind me watching the movie, and at one stage, right at the start where they're like talking, the first time they're having a big discussion about cloning or whatever, and then I hear this kid go, "Who's she?" The dad's like, "She's from the last movie." And then they start talking a bit more, and they're talking about cloning. Then the kid goes, "What's a clone?"
It's fair enough. Not enough clones in children's TV.
I was like, it sounded like they'd watched the last one, obviously, but the whole cloning part, these kids did not grasp onto that concept in that movie at all.
No. I think the interesting thing about this, I feel it's very family friendly. Like, there isn't anything too gory or scary.
There's one jump scare in this. There's absolutely no blood. There's less blood than this than
there's like random people getting eaten, but very much in the background.
Yeah, you never see. This is less violent than the last two worlds. This is way less scarier than Fallen Kingdom. This has less kills on screen, like graphically or blood, than Jurassic World, and it definitely has less blood and violence than any of the first three.
You know what actually is the scariest creature in this movie? The locust.
They actually are. They're fucked up looking.
One, they're way too big.
They are fucked
unnecessarily big. Then when they're chasing down those children, that's terrifying.
That was quite scary. Children of the Corn.
And then when they're flying around, when they're all burning up. No.
I assume they died, those kids, right? And we never see them again.
I assume they live. You know, otherwise their mother would be way more pissed than she was. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I like how they're like, this corporation, like, we have a big secret plan. We'll control the crops in a world where shit's already fucked. Dumb. I don't know why. It's a dumb plot line. But then my favorite part was where they're like...
It's not a good plot line when, you know, the price of lettuce is going crazy.
Well, that's... Yeah. I had KFC today before I went and watched the movie too, and they were like, "Your lettuce won't have lettuce in it." I'm like, whatever. They're like, don't. As long as no one finds out about our secret facility here, we'll never get caught. Especially because our lotuses are only leaving our crops alone, so no one will ever put two and two together.
Yeah. Or they'll never be able to prove it. Oh, yeah. Just coincidence. Yeah, I found the shoehorning of the legacy characters kind of odd. I guess for Ellie, it kind of made sense, but not really.
Ellie worked because she like you get like she rocks up at the farm and she's like looking into this thing. You're like, okay, like I can see for her. Even Malcolm makes sense, I guess. Yeah,
I actually appreciated him like being against everything they're going for, but he's like, fuck it, I just want a cushy job, you know. Yeah. I just want a good payday because the end of the world's coming.
Yeah, that makes sense for him, but yeah, it's just
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill does not like. He really is just on tag along. Like his character is just tag along.
I mean, it's pretty clear. Ellie's like, who can I get to do work for me? It's like old lovelorn Alan Grant. He'll do whatever I says. I just need to bat my eyelids a couple times.
It's kind of bad because they went other than that little cameo in the last film, and it was basically a cameo. He's in it for what, like 2 minutes? Gives that little speech.
Total, yeah, probably,
yeah. Other than that, they went 2 films without having to rely on these legacy characters or anything, and now they get to the third one. They're like, God damn, we better find a way to put them in, and it just feels so shoehorned. Like they really don't need to be here at all. You could, in fact, I would prefer the film to take them out, maybe have them as cameo appearances. Like you could still have Ian Malcolm show up at the place, I guess, or you just never see him again. Like, I don't know, like you can have these sorts of things happen. That's fine. But I almost feel like just you could still split the groups up, but you introduce like the pilot lady earlier. We get more of her because I actually thought she was cool. And all, you know what I mean? Like you get more time with these actual Jurassic World characters, stuff like that. So I would have much preferred, as bad as it sounds, and no, well, not really, because it's typical Dylan. I would much prefer the film to not have the legacy characters in.
Stay with the new crop, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have just been, two parents trying to find their child.
Yeah.
That would have been all right.
Yeah. And I think the heart of the story about this girl, continuing on from the last film, who's a clone and having to like come to terms with her existence, I guess, would have made for an interesting backbone to the film, in which, I don't know, like I would have scrapped everything they'd done in this movie, but you could have had that storyline and then just make it about, I don't know, fucking the poachers steal Blue's baby and just make that they have to go get Blue's baby. That could have been the plot, right?
I mean, that's what they were selling people to.
Yeah, that could have just been the movie. So it's just a big old adventure, and because they have to track through all these areas, we get to see them go through all these, come across all these other dinosaurs, and it's just you get to see a slice of life.
A bunch of misadventures of dinosaurs.
Yeah, just in different cities and places where dinosaurs are, and you get to see what's up. That's a cool movie. Like that's a good pitch, I feel. You've got the builds on the action. You get to see lots of dinosaurs. That's what people are here for. You get to continue on the clone stuff, the story of Maisie, even if some people hated that. But to me, if that was the movie, I'm a lot more interested in that as a movie.
Yeah. All right. So, Dylan, who was your dinosaur MVP for this movie?
Dinosaur MVP is going to be my old mate who doesn't cut his fingernails.
The Therizinosaurus.
Come again?
Therizinosaurus.
Because I assume that's like an old dinosaur or something like that. Because they had a lot of like sort of like the old mate Gigantopithecus or whatever that thing was from the Cretaceous period, or
So this is from the late Cretaceous period, apparently.
Yeah, okay. Because they look furrier. That's how I judge them. The furrier ones are later.
See, according to Wikipedia, it lives in Asia, so representation. That's what it was.
There you go. We just needed a black dinosaur. But no, I did enjoy that dinosaur.
Yeah, it was good. I think that was probably my MVP as well. Because it gets the scene with Claire.
Yeah.
She's hiding.
That was pretty good. That was
a pretty good sequence.
I like that scene, the camera like going back, crawling into the water. I felt that was like good.
Yeah, it was well put together, well choreographed. Yeah. It takes out the deer. No
blood again, weirdly, but that's whatever.
But there was brown liquid on the leaves.
Later, they don't show any blood coming out of any animals. They'll show it like on the leaves after, but you don't see it come out. I'm like, you can tell it's purposely trying to keep this as PG as possible. It's
and then he comes in to make the save at the end,
Yeah, I don't know if he did on purpose, though. It was that thing where his hand was just there, and he's like, oh no, what have I done?
No, I think it was on purpose, That was him up. He knew what he was doing. He knows his fingernails are very long. Taking his head off. Again, like, stabbing things. That's how most dinosaurs die, apparently.
Next, the weak spot.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Alan Grant was right. They talked about, like, taking out the throat, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to talk about Campbell Scott, who plays the shady...
the bad guy?
The bad guy.
Yeah, I hated him. He was terrible.
Like, hated him...
I thought the character was just shit. Not interesting.
Plays Charles Dodgson.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting. I think... My mind immediately went to Don't Look Up, and what's his face? Mike Rylance playing his billionaire. Comparing it to this billionaire, I think Campbell Scott did a better job as playing the like weird, eccentric billionaire who's a dick. You know what I mean? Anything else you feel like when you discuss this movie?
Nah. What a disappointment! Like this happens a lot. I feel disappointingly. We do these rewatches, get hyped for something, then we talk about the actual film we've been watching the films for. We're like, yeah. Like, spend all this time just like, I don't know.
Okay, so I got 2 questions. So, everybody predicted before, the year, this was going to be the number 1 grossing movie of the year.
No.
Do you think it will? Will audiences go to this despite all the criticism against it?
I think it'll do money.
Is it going to be number 1?
Don't think it'll be number 1. I think number 1 will be Avatar.
That's going to be out for like 1 week. So I think Top Gun is like
Or
potentially going to be the number 1 movie of the year. Crazily.
Oh, that's true. Avatar only has 1 week. Eh? Maybe that's what we're going to fuck it. So what else would there be?
Then it's just Doctor Strange and Thor. You would think, yeah.
Probably out of all those. Thor or Top Gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think this will do.
Crazy, yeah.
I feel like the numbers of the last one dipped off a lot, so.
Yeah. Then, do we think we're going to get more in the Jurassic World universe?
Look, I like dinosaurs.
Crazily, the big Battle of Big Rock, like, there was a fair bit of that in the start of the movie.
Yeah, they show a lot of the credit sequence stuff, and they show the Battle of Big Rock. Actually, they have a shot of someone like filming that attack from the outside, which was like a little Easter egg, I guess. I would like more of the Battle Big Rock stuff.
Yeah, I would like what we thought we were going to get in this movie.
Yeah. I'm 100% down. Let me put it this way. Hey, Dylan, do you want to watch another Jurassic Park /World/Universe movie that's like this one? No, I'm good. Don't make them anymore. Hey, Dylan, do you want to watch a Jurassic Park World movie that you thought you was going to watch where it's just like dinosaurs in the world? Like, the movie ends and like the whole ending is literally like, let me show you a bunch of dinosaurs like integrating to like animals nowadays. And, like it's kind of very on the nose how it's like, look, the triceratops things, whatever they're called, they're walking with the elephants. Yeah. Look, the things are flying with the birds. Like, it's like, look,
that was the most underwhelming ending to a Jurassic Park movie.
It was, but at the same time, like, I get what you're saying. You're like, look, they're integrating to our ecosystem. Yeah. Dinosaurs are now living amongst us. Cool. If you want to make a movie that's about some shit happening in this world, like, and people having to deal with the dinosaurs, like the Battle of Big Rock stuff and whatever else. If you want to make some stuff like that, yes, I'm down. That's what I wanted to watch. That's what I thought I was going to watch. So yeah, I'm 50-50 depending on the answer to that.
Yeah, I agree. If you're actually going to like tackle the idea of dinosaurs and humans living together, then yeah, that would be cool. I think we pitched, like, you could do crazy TV series. You could do, you've got this part of the CIA that does
tracks dinosaurs,
foreign species or whatever. Yeah. There's potential there, but it'll be interesting to see after we would assume, underwhelming performance of this movie.
You could literally cross over with Fast and Furious and have them racing dinosaurs into space.
That's the plan. The only way to save humanity is to take them to another planet. Jurassic Mars, coming to cinemas next.
I'm down.
2025.
I'm down.
Yeah. Alright, let us know what you thought of Jurassic World Dominion. Is it the worst Jurassic World movie? Jurassic Park World movie?
I think it's definitely surely everyone's going to say it's the worst world movie.
It's the worst world, yes.
Do you reckon anyone will say that Fallen Kingdom is worse than this? Like, what do you reckon the percentage?
Maybe like 1%?
Because I'm like, surely even if you didn't like Fallen Kingdom, I'd like to know what you like more about this. Because at least that movie did new things.
It had the sequence on the island, which was cool.
Yeah, and that was actually
it had the dinosaur like crying. Yeah.
Now we went back to an island. Well, we didn't go to an island. We went back to a park.
We went to a crater. Yeah.
I feel like the whole is this worse than Jurassic Park 3? I'm up for people like you being like, nah, I reckon 3 is worse. That's fine. But if anyone says that this is worse than Fallen Kingdom, I'm saying no, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, let us know on Twitter by going to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter, or you can jump to our Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser, or tell people about the show and leave us 5 stars. Anywhere you can leave 5 stars. And if you have enjoyed this road to Jurassic World Dominion, even if the final destination was a bit of a letdown, and